So inside the base, when Moff Gideon's like, send the TIE fighters or send the interceptors, they launch. They launch in this way that super cool. Super cool launch.
So the question I had about this was they're in a static base underground. This seems like a high level of difficulty of deployment, where one screw up by one of the TIE fighters incapacitates this whole area.
That's right. So they're like, go ahead, go ahead.
So they have the skills to do this, but it's also, why make it difficult if you don't have to? Why can't it be a regular deployment? Why is this like bat deployment? And then off you go. So,
Yeah, super cool that they look like bats hanging and it's super intimidating. But like this is a free fall drop, and they have to like reorient and activate the engines, the repulsors, like right away. Imagine if someone like slipped on the control stick or just wasn't fast enough. They crash and hit the floor, and then all the other ships after them can't launch.
can't launch. Right. And so these two launch simultaneously here. They should probably launch more staggered just to make sure that there isn't any, because there could be kind of repulsor coupling or aerodynamic coupling that they. I'm not saying you can't do it. It takes a high level of skill, but why take the risk? Super cool though.
Super cool. Although the one thing I thought about this, so there's like these railways up here where the pilots like run. First of all, you got your pilots running on a narrow catwalk. Why? Like, the pilot slips and then they're like, well, our bird is down. We can't launch. Also, the pilots climb in here and then they're sitting, but they sit with their faces pointing out the window. Mm-hmm. Like they face out the window, which means in here, when they're hanging, they're like harnessed face down. Like, do they have something on their chest supporting them when they're face down, or are they just like climbing in and like aggressively pushing against the window so that they can get buckled in, like, right? Because the seat rest is above them.
Maybe it's one of those cool Star Wars swivel chairs where it's actually sitting upright and they get in, strap in, and then they're ready to rock. And then that gives them some G maneuvering. So when they go into high G maneuvers, but they don't need high G maneuvers. They have repulsors. Anything inside the craft isn't felt inside. So it's just an advanced swivel chair for no reason.
I would be super happy if there was the advanced swivel chair came out here on the catwalk. So you just sit down on the chair and it like drops you in. That would be sick.
It's like those seats that, infirm people have that they go up the stairs.
Yeah.
Except for
drop you in.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I like it. That's an unnecessary amount of complication. It could just be have them level, they walk in, they sit down level in the TIE fighter and deploy horizontally. It's so much simpler. Why make it so complicated?
Yep. Make it simple.
Cool though.
Super cool.
Also, now that I'm seeing this, there's maintainers and cargo underneath where they're hanging. So if there was a screw up, a mechanical failure, or pilot error, they're taking out supplies as well. That could be critical.
Oh heck, maybe imagine if these boxes were stacked a little bit too high here, like higher than normal, higher than regulation. But one trooper was just like, you know what, I'm putting this box here. I don't care. Mm-hmm. And then the TIE interceptors like crash into it, just on their.
It can even be temporarily placed, but in an emergency, it's accidentally somewhere it shouldn't have been. Whoops.
This is the door.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and we saw previously that people's heads are about this high, about mid door height. So these TIE fighters are skimming people's heads like that. They could crush someone just enough to crack their neck. Super dangerous. Nice. What are they doing? Have you seen how crowded aircraft carriers get? Like their decks are just jammed full of ships.
I mean, absolutely. They do a high degree of difficulty of deployment and bringing planes back and refueling and all of it, but it's not by choice. If they had a choice, they would have a floating, 50 square kilometers of space that they could easily just do whatever. But they can't because the ship is space constrained. Here they're not space constrained. Why make it difficult?
I think I found the reason. They are space constrained. They're constrained to inside the base. Let's walk it backwards and you'll see it. So here they're coming in, and then you land. You got your rear view mirror. You're parking backwards, and then zoop, like in a little parking spot. Actually, this makes a lot of sense when you view it like this. They're optimizing for having to fit all the ships inside the cave,
and it's hidden, and maybe
then you
burrowing.
still get this walkway.
Yeah, and burrowing into the mountain is time consuming, so they have limited space in the cave. Okay.
And I think Gideon has a thing for bats. So, okay.